This is really, really distressing. British teen jailed in Dubai dies 3 months after being freed from prison. I'm sure some of you guys are aware. Was it like a year ago, right? More than a year ago, this British teenager, this guy here called Marcus Fakana, RIP to him now, but about a year and a half ago, he was involved in this really big story here in the UK because he went on a holiday with his family to Dubai. He ends up being in Dubai, having a good time, and I guess he meets another family there, and they have a daughter. Him and the daughter end up hitting it off. They end up having sex, unprotected, unfortunately. And then, I think if I'm not mistaken, the mum of the daughter ends up finding a morning after pill in her daughter's purse. She then confronts the daughter. The daughter tells her what happened, and I guess the mum, in her fit of rage, decides to call the police as they're in Dubai and report the boy for the R word, when it wasn't the R word, it was consensual. But she was so mad that her daughter engaged in that she reported the boy to the police. And obviously, in Philippine Dubai, it's illegal for people of their age to have sex in the first place. No, I think it's illegal because she was underage. I think the kid at that time was 18 and the girl was 17, so she was technically underage. So he went to prison for a year. Went to prison for a year in Dubai. His family were trying to do a protest and lead, something to the government to basically try and get him out early because of what went down. And I remember speaking about it on a podcast. I spoke about it on my pod, and I was basically saying that how, the kid was dumb. He made a stupid decision. He should have never done that in the first place. Fucking a girl underage, quote unquote, while he was on holiday with his family. I feel like it's kind of inappropriate as well, a little bit. You're on holiday with your family and you're fucking. It's a bit weird anyway. But anyway, in general, he did it. But I thought, you know what? Lesson learned. It'll be a lesson learned. He'll be a year in prison. He'll learn how to have good, quote unquote, dick discipline. And when he comes out, he'll be a much more mature, grown young man. He comes out. And 3 months later, he dies in a car crash. Ain't that fucking unfortunate? Isn't that absolutely heartbreaking? And now I sit here thinking to myself, I wonder how that lady feels. I wonder how the mum of that daughter feels now. Because there's no shadow of a doubt that her calling the Dubai police because this man, when he was 18, was fucking her 17-year-old daughter, and she wasn't happy about that, so she reported to the police, knowing full well that he would go to prison for it over there, unfairly, because it was consensual. I wonder how that woman feels, because she has blood on her hands. That woman has blood on her fucking hands, what she did to this kid, because she inevitably set him on a path where it would eventually end up in this place. This case also got me thinking about like destiny. It got me thinking about destiny. It got me thinking about sometimes in life, your path is mapped out for you before you even know it. But also got me thinking about choices and whether or not choices are really mad, because some of us, myself included, I can make fuck up after fuck up and not really be punished that much. I might get a setback. I might lose some money. I might lose a job. I might break someone's heart. I might lose a friend. But life goes on. But there are some people where if they make a couple of mistakes, it's over. It's over. And it's really unfair. It's really, really unfair how some of us get to make mistake after mistake after mistake and nothing goes wrong for the most part. But then this young man made one mistake while he was on holiday with his family when he went and fucked this girl. 'Cause I think it was a mistake. I'm going to say it's a mistake. I don't think, even if you fell in love, I think going fucking a girl when you're on holiday in a foreign country, it's just, and Dubai, you know how they run. It's a mistake. No matter what you say, it's a fucking mistake. He fucks this girl. One mistake he makes. That one mistake leads to this place he's in. Because no doubt, after that mistake, they always say prisons are 50-50, right? Some people go to prison, they come out, they're a changed person. Some people, you go to prison as a good kid, you come out a bad kid, because why? You're surrounded by bad kids, bad people who've made a career out of being bad. And now you're in a bad situation, especially imagine if you're in there and you feel like it's unjust. You feel like it's undeserved, it's unwarranted, it's unfair. You're going to be pissed off being in there. You're going to be pissed off and angry, and you're going to want to prove them right. Okay, cool. You guys are calling me a bad you. You guys are calling me a bad kid. Fine, I'll be a fucking bad kid. And you come out and start making bad choices, and then you end up like this. And to make the story even worse, when I heard the story originally, I was thinking, right, that so this kid's in a car with his friend, and then the car doesn't stop for a police. That's basically what happened, right? 3 months later, he's in the car with his friend, and the police try and pull them over. The friend doesn't pull over, tries to speed up from the police, ends up crashing. And obviously, as we know, with these car crashes, it's always the person that's not driving that dies. So the kid, the passenger, he dies on the spot, on the scene. I thought at the time, okay, cool. At least let it be like a gun. At least let the kid have a gun in there, or like some money or some drugs. So something crazy where if you would have stopped and let the police come, you both would have got 20 years. So maybe quote unquote, again, this is mad to say, but bear with me. I thought, okay, then at least maybe it's worth rolling the dice, trying to, you know, race off with a car. If you've got like a brick of cocaine in the back, or you've got a fucking couple of guns in there with bodies on them, then maybe you want to try and, you know, speed off, because if you get caught with those things in there, you're gonna be in prison for like double-digit numbers. But then they found out that that's not the case. They found out later on the kid sped away from the police, didn't stop because of not having insurance or a license. Like, come on, man. You could have taken that, bro. You could have eaten that. You could have eaten the points. You could have eaten the fine, the 1 year jail. You could have eaten that. You didn't need to drive. You like try to speed off from police because you don't have a license or insurance. Like, come on, bro. They would have taken your car. Cool. You would have maybe gone to prison. Maybe got some points. You would have done max a year, 2 or something. The friend really fucked him, bro. The friend really fucked him. I thought there was maybe a gun in there with some bodies on it. Maybe a brick of cocaine or something, but no. It's just no insurance, no license. Fucking wild. The original story, courtesy of the Standard. It says a teenager 19 jailed in Dubai over holiday romance with girl killed in a crash after the car fails to stop for police in North London. A British teenager who was jailed in Dubai after having sex with a UK tourist has died after a car he was in failed to stop for the police and crashed in North London. Marcus Fakana, 19, died from significant injuries after the smash just before 1 a.m. in Friday. Officers on patrol attempted to stop a vehicle of interest in Pretoria Road in Edmonton. The Metropolitan Police after following the short pursuit of approximately 60 seconds, Jesus Christ, they temporarily lost sight of it. Shortly after, officers drove onto the roundaway in Tottenham to find a car had been involved in a road collision with another vehicle. The teenage passenger suffered serious wounds and was provided with immediate first aid prior to the arrival of London Ambulance and Air Ambulance. The 4 spokesman said he was taken to hospital where, despite the best efforts of emergency services and medical staff, he died of a short time later. His lesser kid had been informed. The male driver, 19, also survived but was arrested after the smash with suspicions of failure to stop, dangerous driving. He remains in police custody. Mr. Fakana was arrested and sentenced to 1 year in prison last year over a consensual holiday relationship in August of last year. The British tourist was just a few months younger than himself. The girl was 1 month away from turning 18, but sex with anyone under the age of 18 is an offence in the Gulf state, a fact that was not aware at the time. They met when both of their families were staying in a luxury hotel. He was released from prison in July of this year after receiving a royal pardon from Dubai ruler Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum and had returned to the UK. Radha Sterling, a founder of Detainee in Dubai, who supported the teen's family and campaigned for the release, shared the news on his death on the social media. Writing on X, he says, "We are heartbroken and share that our client and friend Marcus Fakana tragically lost his life. His loss is a painful reminder of how precious life is and how unnecessary imprisonment robs people of time they can never regain. Every day of freedom matters." Mr. Sterling told Daily Mail, I came to know Marcus as he faced one of the most frightening experiences of his life, and I witnessed his strength and courage throughout. He was grateful for the compassion shown to him by the British public, and his experiences gave him a renewed focus on Christianity and prayer. Marcus was thankful to be regained in his freedom, and was looking forward to building a positive future. Tribute flooded for the teenager on social media. Absolutely heartbreaking, man. Absolutely heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. R.I.P. Marcus, honestly, truly. R.I.P. Marcus. But again, choices, isn't it? Choices. He was in a car with a kid who had no license, no insurance. Maybe that kid was involved in something nefarious. Who fucking knows? Probably the first mistake. But he was really set on a bad path the moment that lady fobbed him into the police over there in Dubai because of that consensual relationship with his daughter. Because you'd think that was something that I remember happening back in the day. I didn't know that's a thing now. I remember back in the day that being a big thing. I remember back in the day, there was this one girl that lived near our area, who a lot of guys were into. But if I'm not mistaken, her mum purposely sent her to a school like outside of London as an all-girls school. There was this one girl, she was mad pretty. Everyone used to really be into her. But she was never allowed outside. Never allowed outside, whatever. And I remember one day in particular, right? We were by the park, and this lady drove by in her car, with her daughter in the car too, in the passenger seat. And obviously this girl's going to, like, we're all fucking, I don't know, 17, 18 at the time. And they drive by and we see her for the first time and we're like, oh my God. Like, I think because we heard the rumors, right, of this girl lives in the area, but she's never allowed outside and shit. And we got to see her and we're like, shit, she's as pretty as everyone says she is. And I remember her also looking at us, right? And then the mum seeing her daughter looking at us and we looking at her with our mouths open. She got so pissed off. She literally stopped the car. I remember it was like a Volvo estate car. She stopped the car in the middle of the street, jumped out, and said, why the fuck are you looking at my daughter? Like, started screaming at us. And obviously the girl was super embarrassed, like kind of hiding her head. I remember thinking at the time, I was thinking, this is weird. Like, why is Mumsy having such a visceral, angry reaction like that? Like, relax, like, chill. I mean, like, why are you so mad? But then the weird thing is that usually when parents do that to, especially girls anyway, I know some guys know this as the hood Tory, but when women do that, mums do that to their daughters, it usually has an opposite effect. If you start being super protective about girls like that, especially your daughter, there's more chance of them ending up like a fucking Bonnie Blue than you think. But mums, I guess, think in that particular moment they're being protective and they're trying to keep their child safe and out of harm's way. But it actually does the opposite, usually. Especially a girl like that. Like that, again, that girl back in the day, if I remember correctly, she was never outside. We were always outside every fucking day. And she went to a school, an all-girls school outside of our fucking borough, outside of fucking London, on purpose, so she could avoid anybody. I'm assuming maybe her mom took her on a bus or in a car. I don't know, it's weird. And I saw her that one time only. I saw that one time in all my life living in my area. I saw that one time only. And at one time we saw her mom come out of the car and start shouting. So I can imagine that's the same type of mom. If she found out her daughter had sex, she'd for sure ring the police and say it was rape. She would for sure ring the police and say it was rape. Those type of mums are evil, because I have a feeling, right, that mum, the mum that called in the police for this kid, I bet you now she doesn't care. I bet you now she has zero remorse. I bet you that mum of that girl, that 17-year-old girl, feels absolutely zero remorse about this. I bet she doesn't care in the slightest that this young man, you know, is now dead because he was set on that kind of bad path because I'd imagine so. And also, forget even the bad path. You know, his parents and his family were robbed of a year of him being around. Maybe in his destiny, it was always kind of ordained or something. And again, with me to say this, I know, but maybe his day that was meant to be his day regardless. I don't necessarily think so. I personally think sometimes you make choices. I don't think our life is predestined. I think it's predestined to in part. I think our life is predestined in part, but I think we've always got a choice. So there's there's always like a fork in the road at all times. So there's your predestined path and there's other choices. But those other choices can maybe lead you back to your predestined path or make another path for you. So I feel like in this type of situation, that lady definitely played a role in fucking up this guy's future. To a point now where he passes away before he fucking turns 21. You know, at 19 years of age. A fucking baby, man. Absolutely heartbreaking, man. So RIP to Marcus Fakana. RIP to Marcus Fakana. Thoughts and prayers go out to everybody, including his family and shit, who are going through this horrible, horrible loss.